Is Venezuela emptying its prisons and sending criminals to terrorize American cities? So former President Trump claims that it's happening, but the truth might surprise you. In this video, we'll dive into the facts behind Venezuela's crime rates, examine the real impact of Venezuelan migration on U.S. crime, and uncover Trump's shocking move to block bipartisan immigration reform. So buckle up for a journey through immigration myths and political maneuvering ahead of the 2024 presidential elections in America. I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. Let me know in the comments if you've got an asylum case pending, or maybe you're considering applying. And listen, I'd especially like to hear from you if you've been waiting for an asylum interview with USCIS for multiple years. Let me know how long. In recent months, former President Donald Trump has been sounding the alarm about migrants crossing the U.S. southern border. He's been particularly vocal about one group that he claims poses a significant threat: migrants from Venezuela. At the Republican National Convention, Trump made a startling claim that has since raised eyebrows among fact-checkers and immigration experts. With supporters waving signs calling for mass deportation now, Trump asserted that crime in Venezuela had plummeted by 72%. And the reason, according to Trump, the Venezuelan government had purged criminals from the country and sent them to the United States. Trump even cracked a joke about this alleged situation, suggesting that, next time the Republican convention could be held in Venezuela because, it would be safe while American cities would be too dangerous. But is there any truth to these claims? Let's dive into what we actually know about crime in Venezuela and migration to the United States. So first, has crime really declined in Venezuela? The short answer is yes, but the details are murky. Venezuela's government is notoriously secretive when it comes to crime statistics. They don't release comprehensive figures, and in the past, they've even punished news organizations for even reporting on violent crime. Now, recently, the Interior Ministry has occasionally shared some nationwide crime rates, but without specifying the types of crime or how the data was collected. And in January, the Ministry of Interior reported that the overall crime rate had declined by 16.8% in 2023. Now, some independent organizations have gathered data suggesting that certain parts of Venezuela have indeed become safer. So for instance, the number of homicides in Caracas, the capital, reportedly declined by 77% in 2023 compared to 2018. Now, however, there's no official government information that backs up Trump's specific claims. He cited different figures at different times, sometimes saying crime has declined by 67%, other times 72%, and he hasn't explained why he's giving shifting numbers. So what's really behind any decline in crime in Venezuela? According to the Venezuelan Observatory of Violence, an independent group, it's not due to a purge of criminals. Instead, they suggest that gangs have consolidated power, resulting in fewer rival conflicts. Additionally, as poverty has deepened and about a quarter of the population has left the country, gangs have fewer potential recruits from the lower class, which is limiting their ability to expand their operations. Now, let's address the big question. Is Venezuela actually sending criminals to the United States? There's simply no evidence to support this claim. Neither Trump nor anyone else has pointed to any evidence, direct or circumstantial, suggesting any kind of conspiracy or even informal effort by the Venezuelan government, or any other entity for that matter, to send criminals north to the United States. In fact, it's highly unlikely for a couple of reasons. First, Venezuelan authorities don't have a strong grip on the prison system. Now, more than half of the country's prisons were at least partially controlled by gangs as of last year. And commentators have pointed out that Venezuela's lack of control over its prisons makes it unlikely that they could orchestrate a systematic expulsion of criminals to the United States. The gangs partially running many prisons and deciding which inmates go where, the government likely lacks the necessary oversight and authority to selectively release and then deport prisoners on a large scale. Second, rather than pushing people out, the Venezuelan government has actually been encouraging its citizens to return. President Nicolas Maduro has been promising to help returning migrants, saying, quote, "It's time to come back. The Venezuelan government puts all its power at your service to protect you." By the way, if you want to maximize your chances for asylum success, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss the insights that I share on this channel. Now, let's address the other key question. Has migration from Venezuela contributed to crime in the United States? According to a sociology and criminology professor at Northeastern University, there's no credible research showing that increased immigration leads to increased crime. In fact, studies suggest that immigrants are actually less likely to commit crimes than people born in the United States. Now, Trump has pointed to isolated incidents to support his claims, such as 2 Venezuelan men who've been charged with murder in Houston. However, these anecdotes don't represent broader trends. And it's worth noting that migrants themselves are often victims of crime. Criminals frequently exploit migrants by charging exorbitant fees for border crossings or forcing them into sex work, and they're often vulnerable and mistreated once they reach their destination. So while migration from Venezuela to the United States has indeed increased in recent years, claims of the Venezuelan government or anyone else systematically sending criminals to the United States are simply unfounded. And the reality of immigration and crime is far more complex than political soundbites might suggest. But listen, this isn't the first time that Trump has tried to stoke fear by maligning immigrants. During his 2016 campaign, Trump infamously labeled Mexican immigrants as rapists and criminals, a theme that continued throughout his presidency. He frequently described Central American asylum seekers as an invasion, even joking about shooting migrants during a 2019 rally. Trump's derogatory remarks also included calling Haiti, El Salvador, and African nations shithole countries, reflecting his broader pattern of racist rhetoric. His critique of the diversity visa lottery program falsely claimed that it brought the worst people to the United States. Trump has repeatedly used misleading crime statistics to link immigrants to increased crime rates, fueling a narrative of fear. His policies also targeted Muslims, most notably through his controversial travel ban, which was known as the Muslim ban. By characterizing immigrants as criminals and invaders, Trump has consistently sought to undermine public perception and stoke fear for political gain. These actions provide a clear context for understanding his recent comments on Venezuela. But here's the thing. When it comes time to act, Trump has proven that he'll opt instead for political expediency. At a recent campaign rally, Vice President Kamala Harris, who is now facing Trump in the presidential election, criticized Trump for single-handedly killing a bipartisan border bill that aimed to strengthen border security. Now, this bill was full of measures that Republicans have been begging for over the years and which Democrats have long resisted as inhumane and inconsistent with America's promise as a nation of immigrants. It's stuff that just a year ago, Democrats never would have dreamed of allowing. Yet here they were, offering up some really harsh immigration measures on a silver platter. The bill probably would have actually made a significant difference in the amount of illegal border crossings. And what was Trump's response? Well, he explicitly instructed Republicans to vote against the bill, fearing that it would be seen as a Democratic success and harm his poll numbers. He actually said this out loud publicly. He told Republicans to vote against it because its passage would help Democrats and hurt him in the presidential election. And Republicans in Congress listened. They stopped the measure from becoming law. This maneuver underscores Harris's accusation that Trump is more focused on political gain than genuine immigration reform. Now, President Biden, who supported the bipartisan effort, condemned Trump's action as self-serving, highlighting the need for practical immigration solutions. And Harris, for her part, has capitalized on this narrative, running ads that spotlight Trump's decision to undermine a bill that many Americans viewed as a sensible approach to immigration. If you're ready to take the next step and get help with your asylum case, then call my office today, okay? That number is 713-909-0401. And remember, we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you live. Call us right now to schedule an asylum strategy session. so that we can help you to secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Ryan Manning, and it's an honor to support you in your asylum journey.